Hey Brittany, Kaylee Jean here with Falcons and Pentacles Tarot, as you know, and welcome to your Zodiac Tarot reading. Super excited to be doing this reading for you today. There's going to be a lot of cards. This is quite a large spread, so we're going to go pretty in-depth to multiple areas of life. I would invite you to grab a cup of tea and a notebook. If this is your first time listening to the video, you might want to take some notes because we're going to cover a lot. So, and then also at any point, pause the video and write about the cards. I encourage that a lot because the cards come up as reflections of your consciousness. So it's really important that you develop your own kind of sense of meaning of the cards that come up. I always communicate what I see, but there's always the possibility that you catch things that I don't. So it's important to take extra time for yourself so that you can really get the most out of this reading. While I'm shuffling your cards, I'll just tell you a little bit about my process. As a reader, I am being called to do readings that center around creativity and self-empowerment. So my readings are not primarily focused on prediction, but more about guidance, focus points, and areas of opportunity so that you can really create the life that you want to live and you're not feeling disempowered by anything that comes up, because nothing is set in stone, and we all have free will to change things that we maybe don't like, and then we have the ability to get validation for the things that we do like what we see. We see proof that we've been working on ourselves, and that's another great function of tarot. So that's how I read. Occasionally, I do get guidance coming in from spirit guides, but that doesn't happen every time. So if that comes through, if anything like that comes through, I promise I'll say something even if it doesn't make any sense to me. And often it doesn't. It may not even make sense to you at this time. So if that occurs, just put a pin in it and save it for later, because it may make sense later on. Okay, going to drop in now and shuffle. Brittani. So just now while I was tapping in, I was shown like a doorway, and the other side of the doorway was dark. And I wanted to know like what was on the other side of that, because I felt that it had some kind of meaning for you. So I flipped the light switch on, metaphorically, and what I saw was actually like a basement. So I'm not really sure. It looked like a workshop, kind of like a basement being turned into like a workshop space. So I don't know if that has any relevance to you, but I have to say it because that's what I saw. Another thing about basements and, visuals that involve rooms and like parts of houses, especially the basement in particular, it's about symbolically uncovering like unconscious material. So if you dream, for example, about a basement, that you didn't know you had. It's signifying that you are connecting to like a deeper part of yourself, because houses really symbolize our consciousness. So when you discover like a deeper part of your house, it's like you're reaching deeper in your mind, if that makes sense. So if there isn't a literal basement in your life, then that's what's going on, is you are uncovering unconscious material, and you're gonna, as you bring that to light, you're gonna find more clarity about yourself and about your kind of life path. So it's always like finding out what is in store, what you didn't realize you had stored within you. So it already feels like a very exciting reading. The King of Swords is in your first house of self. 7 of Cups in your second house of money and value. The Emperor in your third house of communication. The World in your fourth house of home, and that is reversed. Love is the 5th house, and you've got another 5 here. 5 of Wands. 6th house of work is strength in reverse. 7th house of partners is the 8 of Wands. Page of Wands in your 8th house of renewal. 6 of Swords in your 9th house of spirituality. 9 of Swords in your 10th house of career. 5 of Pentacles in your 11th house of ideals. 4 of Cups in your 12th house of secrets. Now we're moving into your Doth cards. We've got the Magician in reverse. We've got the Sun in reverse. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. We've got the 3 of Wands in reverse. We've got the 3 of Cups in reverse. 6 of Pentacles. And the last card, Knight of Wands. We're going to pull one more on that one to get information about that person. 10 of Swords in reverse. So let's take a look at the general thematic message of the reading. This is a message for you from the universe. Just a general message of what you're working on right now at this time in your life. The next step is for Brittani. Okay, yeah, it's feeling like this one. We've got spring equinox, rebirth. Now this really fits. Beautiful, beautiful card there. This is an amazing reading. I'm gonna put my crystals on my decks here. I like to leave them charged. Now I'm going to pull past, present, and future coming from the Animal Spirit Oracle. Past. Feels like this one. We've got the Lamb. Beautiful card. So that's kind of the state that you're coming from. Present is the bee. A lot of springtime images in this reading. And your future. Looks like this one. The beaver. Wow. So, the first thing that I'm hearing actually here is growing up. And I have to say things when they are presented to me. And so I don't want to be offensive or anything because I don't feel like you're like immature, but what I'm seeing throughout this whole entire spread is a theme of maturity, like increasing maturity. So this is a significant point of growth for you at this time in your life. I'm going to just take a few moments to absorb the reading. So, this is a really powerful reading. At this time, your energy is quite strong because you are an Aquarius and this is the King of Air. So this card is associated with kind of the strengths of the Aquarian personality. You know, you have the power to be very objective, and at the same time, you're very, very pulled to make a difference, and you're very pulled toward this idea that justice should be served, or this idea that it is possible to co-create a fair and healthy and right kind of society. These are really high ideals, and that's some of your most likable traits have to do with these really powerful. Aquarius is a really powerful sign to be born under. So, and it's indicated clearly here from this spread that you have really strong Aquarian energy, and that you are someone who is secure within yourself and secure within your own belief systems. Because we have the Emperor here. Two very masculine, powerful cards. And it's not saying that you are masculine as a person, but it's just saying that you have like leadership qualities. And that's really how you're choosing to express yourself. You're self-aware of what you have to offer. So you're really wanting to be in a situation where you can continue to refine these qualities and increase them in yourself. The Emperor is kind of like the energy of ego, but not in necessarily the negative sense. We all must have egos because that's really the part of us that makes decisions, you know? It's your ego that decides, okay, I want to do this right now because that's what feels meaningful to me, you know, so I'm going to like put my focus here. That's the egoic energy that we need in order to kind of live a holistic life. So this does show, though, that you could be perhaps limiting yourself in terms of how you go about deriving meaning from your life, or perhaps in how you go about making the difference that you're so passionate to make. You are being called. You're being called to something, but there's some confusion around that, you know, because you have the 7 of Cups in your second house, which is the house of what you value, you know. It's not just money, although money is covered in this house, so there could be spending habits that may not be totally focused or aligned with your goals with this card. But it's also feeling to me like there's just a lot of things that have meaning for you, and there's a lot of issues. We have a lot of problems in the world, and so you're looking at all of these different like things that you could do, like ways that you could derive a sense of meaning from your work, and ways that you could live a life that is significant and provides satisfaction for you in knowing that you're part of something bigger than yourself. There's a lot of different ways to do that, and so there is like a feeling of confusion with this card about like which path to take. Ultimately, that decision is 100% up to you. But we will look at some options, some various things that you could focus on in order to increase your sense of clarity around that. The World card in your 4th house of home shows that there could be, what I heard with this card is a kind of squeeze, like a squeeze of like either wanting to move or wanting to expand yourself in some way. I get a feeling of restlessness with this card, as though you're wanting to travel or wanting to change your circumstances in some way. Like you want to expand and maybe expand out of your comfort zone is what I'm being shown. So this really reflects a desire for expansion, although the fact that you're desiring it and that this card came up reversed, it seems like up until recently at least, or perhaps at this time, it hasn't been something that has really been meeting your expectations or kind of unfolding the way that you want it to. But that's okay because you have plenty of time and there will be more opportunities. Yeah, so this really looks like you could be feeling, you could have been feeling a little bit like conflicted when it comes to your love life or your relationships, because in your fifth house of love, we have the Five of Wands. And then in the seventh house of partners, we've got the Eight of Wands. So these cards are linked because they're both related to your relationships and they're both Wands cards. So what stands out to me, and I want you to look at these. Actually, you know what? What you could do is pause the video right here and write about what you see. If you were to put these cards together, what do you see going on here? Like, tell yourself a little story or ask yourself what stands out here for you, because these are two very important cards that have to do with how you relate to others or how you manage your relationships. What I'm seeing here is like these wands are all kind of going in different directions because these people are like young, and so they're not able to get them all on the same page, get everybody on the same page. But the Eight of Wands, all the wands are lined up. So everything is in alignment with the direction that these wands want to go in. So what we're seeing here is potentially that you could benefit a lot from unifying yourself on an internal level. If you have been creating conflict within yourself or resistance about your relationships, it appears that it's time to make a final decision about how you want to proceed. If this is with a romantic partner, then it's about saying to yourself as much as to the other person, hey, I know we've had our differences. Or if you're talking to yourself, it's like, I know that I have a lot of conflicting desires, or I know that this situation isn't perfect, but I'm going to either make the most of it and choose to completely align myself with the situation, or I'm going to make the decisive decision to remove myself from the situation. So either way, it's about letting go of the conflict. This could be inner conflict, or it could be conflict externally with another person. So either way, it's about kind of choosing your battles and saying, you know what, like I'm going to just align, and if I'm aligned with my actions and my behavior, I will be willing to let certain things go, in favor of peace, or I will be willing to speak up when my heart is telling me to do so, and when it's not really meaningful enough to my heart, I'm not going to bother because I want to be in alignment. So it's really not about like just avoiding conflict at any cost. It's more about aligning within yourself and then making the conscious choice to find that alignment wherever possible, with the other people in your life, so that you're not feeling confused or kind of constantly going back and forth. This is really about making the decision to have clarity, strong, direct communication, and making agreements, and that this is a powerful card. This indicates that the everything's kind of set up for you to move forward. The dominoes have been laid out. All you have to do is tap one, and the rest of the decision is going to flow. So if you have been feeling a little bit of stuck energy around specifically your personal relationships, this is really saying that if you make the decision to just be direct and trust your heart and communicate directly with this person, you guys are going to get on the same page. Or, if that also could be ending the relationship, that would create momentum in your life in a positive direction as well. It just depends on what your authentic decision is in regards to the situation. In your 8th house of renewal, we have the Page of Wands in reverse. So this is a card of creativity. The Page of Wands represents like a childlike joy with creativity, because wands represent our creative and artistic and vocational impulses. So what could renew your energy at this time? With the reverse Page of Wands, the first thing that came to me when I looked at this card was renewal through some kind of art therapy. This is a really beautiful card of inspiration, and letting your inspiration be your guide, so that you're not getting blinded by the workload that you have, or by the kind of heaviness of feeling as though you're taking on responsibilities. When whatever it is that you're doing in your life, it can be for your enjoyment as well, and it can be for your enjoyment in a very mature way, because you're already manifesting your energy as more mature. So it's time to bring a little bit more sustainable pleasure to your creativity. So that could be taking up another artistic hobby that has nothing to do with your life purpose or your career path, or something grander outside of yourself. It's purely for your own kind of enjoyment, if that makes sense. And that could be a very renewing thing for you. So I want to talk about your work and career cards. The Nine of Swords shows someone who has, she's gotten some anxiety and she's very concerned about something. She's not able to relax. And this is really happening, at times when there's nothing she can do about it. Like she's sleeping and she's still worrying, or she should be sleeping. She's in bed, but she's just up worrying. There's nothing she can do at that point. So, and then the Strength card in reverse in your area of work shows that there could be almost like I'm feeling a sense of restlessness again. Like you're really wanting to exert yourself and exert your energy to meaningful results, but having a hard time deciding where to channel that. And so there is some kind of anxiety and some kind of restlessness here. But either way, the message is to step into strength. The energy of strength is an energy of perseverance, patience, and grace under pressure. So no matter what you're experiencing, strength energy can give you the equanimity and the calmness to get through the experience without reacting too much, without causing more stress to your internal body, without increasing the pain and suffering and mental pain that you go through. It's about experiencing difficulty in the most healthy way for you, which is by bringing truth and bringing your strong feminine power to the situation. And that's really what the Strength card is. It's the embodiment of the powerful side of femininity, where this can face any challenge. This can persevere against any adversary, mainly due to the power of the sacred feminine to kind of take a gentle approach, to take a gentle but persevering approach. So where in your life are you being asked to take more of this approach? And this obviously looks very keyed into your career. So if there is something in your career that you're really wanting to make happen and it's maybe not happening as quickly as you would like, or if you're experiencing some kind of challenge, take it with grace, take it with a sense of trust, because it is going to work out. In the area of your ideals and your 12th house of secrets, we've got these two people kind of walking outside the church. Immediately, what I feel is that you really want to help people who are in a situation like this, either spiritually or physically. You're someone who really feels the suffering of others. I get a strong sense with this card that you are empathic. So you're definitely not immune to the suffering that goes on in the world. And it's something that you kind of want to make it your life mission to make it easier for some people. You may not be able to help everyone, but you want to make a difference for the people who you can make a difference for. So that's really your ideal, is bringing help and comfort to people who are either spiritually deprived and, dealing with strong like mental and emotional habit patterns that are painful and, they feel lost, or it's literally physically wanting to help people like through charity or through something tangible. And it feels like it could be both for you. It just feels like you have a huge heart and you're wanting to bring your personal energy into the situations where it's needed the most. So where does this, you can pause the video too, where would these people be, or what would their issue be? What could you do to help these people? Or where do you see yourself in this image, and where do you need to take better care of yourself? Because we all have to help ourselves before we can help anyone else. Otherwise, we just really won't be able to help as many people and we will get burnt out. So where do you see yourself in this? Where are you feeling alone or isolated or left out? Where are you feeling hungry or deprived or, starving? What are you starving for? What do you hunger for? What of your basic needs are not being met, And for you, some of those could be spiritual, emotional, or, silence is a need. We need silence. We need some form of silence in our regular lives. So if you're not getting enough privacy, if you're not getting enough time for self-care, that could be where you need to start with yourself before you can, really make a big difference for others. And that Four of Cups too, it's about not having that, because we've got this person meditating. With the reversal though, it's like saying there's a blockage there. So there's a blockage to your alone time or to you accessing your inner world. There's a lot of emphasis on the external reality that I'm feeling here. So you may want to try giving your inner world as much attention and respect as you give your outer world. That means daily checking in with yourself. That means checking with your vibes, doing meditations, writing down your dreams, journaling. All this, you may need to incorporate some more of this stuff, because it does feel like what's going on unconsciously for you is that there could be a little bit of a disconnect where your external reality is being given more importance than your internal reality. Overall, though, we are seeing that the spring equinox in the center of this spread is showing that you are going through a rebirth at this time. So this is a really beautiful time for you. It's a time when you're emerging, cleansed, and you're emerging from perhaps a period of almost like hibernation and really being ready to come out. And I also see that in your past, present, and future cards, because you've got the Lamb as your past. The Lamb represents an awakening. It's a spiritual awakening that comes either through one's dreams, or from guides, or from something just quiet within yourself. And it starts out really fresh and vulnerable, like a little lamb. But then now we've got your present and future cards, the bee and the beaver. So these are really, really amazing cards that point to like you're ready to work, like you're ready to go to work. And both of these cards are known for their work ethic. So yeah, there's a lot of like urgency I'm feeling from you. Like there's a lot of urgency of like, I know that I have something to give. I know that I'm on the verge of a breakthrough, and I really, really, really want it to be clear. Like I want to know what is going on with me. Like I want to know where I can help. Like it's almost like you're asking the universe, like, use me, use my gifts, like work through me. And even as I'm speaking this, I'm getting almost like chills because it feels like such a huge yes from spirit for you. It's like, yes, you're going to be being used by the universe. You're going to be being used for a positive influence, for change. But there is an amount of self-work that's going on first. And maybe not first because it's going to continue and you're always going to be working on yourself. But this really is saying that, you know, you're going to start out a little bit smaller, like the bee, and then you're going to get to the beaver stage where it's like you're building homes, practically building homes for people or something along those lines. And that's so interesting too, because we had that house come in as channeled information for you of discovering the basement, you know, or turning the basement into like a workspace. So we are seeing, you know, with the beavers, they're like the animal that affects their environment as almost as much as like humans do. Like they're comparative. They're like the second most you know, like you can see their effect on their environment as humans because they construct dams and they build homes for themselves. So it does feel that you're going to be doing very grounded work here. You're going to be actually almost like getting your hands dirty like just really getting in there and like doing important work. So don't worry about it if it's not clear absolutely yet what it is, because you're gonna be called and you're gonna have a lot to do. So if there is like a period right now where you can kind of work on yourself and be preparing for that, take advantage of it and trust the timing, because whatever you're learning about yourself and working on now is ultimately absolutely going to be necessary and needed for you when you step into this energy of the beaver. Now, Temperance is your year card for 2017. So when you add up your birthday with 2017, you get 14, which is Temperance. In your Temperance year, it's really a time to reflect. Last year was your death year, so a lot probably changed for you. And Temperance year is really like a rebirth. It very much fits with this energy. You emerged from your death year by letting go of a lot of things that were not really helpful for you. And so Temperance is really when you start to rebuild your life and you become an alchemist of yourself. You turn your base metals into gold, alchemical gold. So you turn the pain that you've experienced in your life into light that you can share with others. And that's really what you work on in your Temperance year. So that's kind of the theme of what you're going through right now. The Chariot is your soul card. So that's really, Chariot personalities. It's amazing because this is a more like masculine archetype, and you have these two masculine cards as your attitude and like yourself. So the Chariot is the archetype of the protector. It's the one who kind of is like the knight in shining armor. he comes in and he does work that benefits others, especially others who cannot help themselves. So the Chariot is really an archetype of forward motion and self-mastery, but that self-mastery happens through change. So this is really an archetype of, people with this soul card generally experience a few different periods of extreme change in their lives. And they learn the most about themselves during those times. So it's a really powerful archetype. It is one that involves a lot of self-development. So mainly a lot of people who have this soul archetype, they end up being really interested in self-improvement. They may end up being leaders, coaches, people who are kind of like managers, people who control the trajectories of projects and maybe, like manage other people. Like as a team, they kind of help the team get together and finish a project and take it to sort of the finish line. So that's really what Chariot people do, is they harness conflicting things, people and energies that are conflicting within them. Part of your soul's task is to narrow down your focus and get rid of that confusion by getting all the different parts of yourself, conflicting desires, conflicting parts of yourself, all on the same path so that you can really utilize your fullest sense of self. So unification is a really big theme with the Chariot card as your soul. So it's a powerful one. I do tend to enjoy Chariot people, and it's amazing because you have Aquarius as well. So it's like you have the two really strong archetypes in tarot and astrology that are about like idealism and about like protecting and serving justice and doing the right thing and really putting yourself out there, for a good cause. That is the servitude, that the Chariot, both the Chariot and the sign of Aquarius have. So you have strong leadership energy, as well as, just strong, like, take charge. I have this ideal and I'm going to do what I can to make it a reality. In your Doth spread, we see a little bit of challenge with the Magician and the Sun. We're seeing a little bit of a blockage at this point. The Queen of Pentacles as well. These are all reversed. They're not like negative in their reversal. It's more like you haven't found the place yet where you're really gonna shine, and you haven't maybe located like the thing yet, but that's totally fine because you do have a lot of, adventure ahead of you. And that's what we're seeing with the Three of Wands, is like this person being ready for the journey. And with the Three of Cups, it's like threes are all about creativity and working, in this one, it's like working together with others. And in this one, it's like working alone towards, achieving something, or, celebrating and like starting out on a new journey. So with these cards, the fact that they came up is meaningful. It does show that there is this energy of camaraderie for you, and there is an energy of finding the right people to work with, and there is an energy of, research and preparation, being ready to start something new. But it's not maybe quite there yet, according to these cards. So it comes back to relaxing and trusting and being open to receiving like the proper kind of maybe funding or developing the right relationships, the right partnerships that are going to support you. Again, we're seeing this theme of helping people because we have this person giving money to these people who might as well be the same from your Five of Pentacles. So we have a lot of themes here around like helping needy people. So be ready for your opportunity to do that, because I do see that that is coming. Now it's interesting here with the Knight of Wands and the Ten of Swords in reverse. Initially, what I'm hearing here is it's not over. So the Knight of Wands could be a person in your life, a fire sign person who has, a very take charge attitude to life, very passionate, inspired, someone who's ready to just ride off into an adventure. This person could seem a little bit young at heart and a little bit restless in certain ways. And then the Ten of Swords in reverse indicates like something not being over with that person. So there could be more to come with that person. If this isn't relating to a person in your life, then this is really about you and your passion. Then you become the Knight of Wands. And this kind of death scene on the Ten of Swords is either in your past and it's moving out of your life, or it's something, that like maybe you were worried that something was over, but there could be a resurgence of it. So yeah, and we are seeing a lot of death and renewal in your spread. Like we talked about with the Temperance is the rebirth, okay? Spring equinox is a rebirth. And the Ten of Swords is a death. So this could be something that you experienced last year in 2016, which was your death year, where you're kind of maybe recovering from that. And this could be a really nice validation for you that whatever this symbolic death is, it's behind you. Okay, Brittany, I hope that this reading was helpful for you. If you have a question, you can always email me and let me know, and I'll do my best to provide clarity in any way that I can. I really do hope that there's something in here that is helpful for you in your life, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you a bit later. Bye.